Hey, good morning. If you're an estate agent and you need to have more conversations with people that are looking to sell their home in 2023, stay tuned to me. In this video, I basically want to share with you a case study. So stay with me all the way through. And obviously, if you're not an estate agent or you're not looking for more valuations, and who isn't? Okay, 2023 is going to be a really tough year, so stay with me all the way through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you behind the scenes of a running live Google ad campaign. So what we're doing is we're basically helping this estate agent because they weren't being found on Google for the term "How much is my house worth?" And by the way, if you would like to have a chat with us about doing this for your agency, then apply to join. Somewhere around this video will be a link where you can basically book a 15-minute consultation with us here. And we're ex-estate agents ourselves, and we run now estate agents, PPC or pay-per-click advertising. The great thing about it, boys and girls, is that if no one clicks on our ads, we don't pay for it. Okay, so what we're doing is we're running ads when someone actually types in a particular phrase in Google. So in this case, how much is my house worth? Okay, we're bidding to be here. So 1, 2, 3, or 4. There's 4 spaces at the top of Google. Okay, that we can bid for. You only pay if someone actually clicks on your ads. Now, what we pay and what you pay can range from a penny right through to many a pennies and many a pounds. Again, knowing the math at this point is obviously knowing how much the exchange is worth to you, how much that client's return on investment, how much are you willing to spend to invest into getting into a conversation. That's what we're doing here, is we're getting into a conversation with somebody who's put their hand up to Google and gone, we're thinking about selling. So that's what we're looking to do. So these are the types of ads that we run. The great thing is we can run telephone numbers on the ads, which you can't do on other platforms or other ads, shall we say, or the organic stuff. We can also squash our competition, which is really, really cool. A little bit of a tickle there. We can basically squash out our competition. Again, there's 4 spaces at the top of Google. We want to be one of the top, basically either 2, 3, or 4. We don't want to be number 1. Number 1 seems to be a bit of a tricky from a results point of view and at a cost that's acceptable. Okay. Again, we're getting to people when they're actually in the moment, they're actually looking. Now, we get leads at 6 o'clock in the morning. We get leads at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We get leads pretty much all the time. I'm saying the lead is someone who's actually filled out a form on a website to actually speak to an agent about having a chat with them about getting a valuation. So if that's of interest for you, again, click on the link somewhere around this video, schedule a 15-minute consultation with us. So this is our what we call cold to sold formula. So this is how we take someone who's, maybe down the road from you, or maybe a couple of 100 feet away from you, or a couple of miles away from you, how we get them to have a conversation with us. So we basically, someone does a Google search again, we don't know where they are, they're in our postcode. So we can basically direct Google to go, listen, only show our ads to people in our particular postcode, which is really, really cool. We bid to be there. So again, we place a bid, whether it's putting our chips on a particular white or black or red, whatever the chips are. I've never played a casino. So basically, we bid to have those conversations. If we get a click, we pay Google. If we don't get a click, we don't pay for it. Okay, that's the mindset shift that I've got to get over to people, is because obviously in other platforms you're paying for the impression. In Google, we only pay for the click or the action, so to speak. We drive that client to a particular website that basically gets them to either phone us or fills out some information. So their address, why they're looking to move, what's the motivation, all that sort of stuff. At that point, it goes to your CRM. At that point, essentially, it becomes what Google call as a conversion, because that's the terminology that Google use. And here is the campaign from January 2023. Again, remember, boys and girls, if we don't get the click, we don't pay for it. Okay. Apologies for the noise, by the way. I'm in a Costa shop or coffee shop near you, so excuse me. I hope this is coming through okay. Again, if you're an agent and you're still on the fence about Google Ads, then I'd encourage you to click on the link somewhere around this video. It will be a 15-minute consultation. Just literally get on the Zoom call, find out where you are now, how many valuations are you missing, how many instructions do you need, a month to obviously keep your sales pipeline. But what about your valuation pipeline? how many valuations have you got in the pipeline at the moment? Okay. If it's less than what you want, then you really need to have a chat. So go ahead, book that call. So in this, I want to share with you the results. So obviously, just to be clear, right next to me is the dates. So the 1st to the 18th of January. I'm recording this on the morning of January. So this obviously isn't the 18th of January stats. It will obviously bring up from that's of this morning, basically. So we've had 22 leads or opportunities. Someone who's raised their hand and said, I'm thinking about selling my house. They've Googled, what's my house worth? How much is my house worth? We've basically got, out of 80 people that have clicked on our ads, 22 of them have actually filled out their information to get a valuation, which is amazing. Each of those leads, we know the math on this particular client. This estate agency charges anything from about £4,500, £5,000 plus. So we're more than happy in spending £15.93 to even have a sniff at that conversation. Okay, so it's really, really good. Again, this will all need follow-up processes and systems and stuff like that. Again, nurturing and stuff, this is front end. This is getting to people who don't know you, don't know you as a brand. This is someone who's Googled, what's my house worth? They haven't gone to they haven't gone brand searching. They've just Googled, what's my house worth? We've showed them an ad from the local agent. They've clicked on the ad. They've obviously recognised the brand. They've filled out their information, which is good. The click-through rate on this campaign is 7%, which is really, really good. Again, anything above 2 is where we want really as a minimum. But from a metrics point of view, again, cost per click in Google. So being at the top of Google in the top 4 spaces, £4.38, which is really, really good. So search impression share. Search impression share is basically a measurement of how often, or basically the market share that we've got. So how many people are Googling? So for instance, so 100 people Google what we want. How often out of that 100 do we show? And we show up 64% of those times. So 6.5 times out of 10 visits we're being found anyway, which is really, really good. And the campaign is converting at 27%, which is amazing. Conversion rate. Not even Amazon are getting, conversion rate to 27%. I'm sure of it. The average website converts at around about 2 to maybe 5% at a push. So we're getting 27%. So if you would like to have a chat with us, then schedule a 15-minute consultation with us, boys and girls. It's totally free. We'd send you out a little bit of a questionnaire before we get on the call, just to make sure that it's right for you. Make sure that we can move on to the next steps. For this, you do need to have a budget, so it's not free. This is obviously paid advertising. This is those ads that you pop up on Google when someone actually Googles how much is my house worth and all that sort of jazz. So, enough said, really. So go ahead and, but if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, then hit the subscribe bell, or if you're not finding me on, look out for me on YouTube. We've got a fantastic channel. And but the purpose of this really is that I want to share with you some live results of a live Google ad campaign for a local estate agent. Got a couple of branches, so they've got a bit of a decent budget on it. This was one of their branches, not all of their branches. So this is obviously just a snapshot of their results. But obviously we don't want to give too much information away. But if you can afford to invest, to get into a conversation, then and if you're not running this type of ad, or maybe you are running these ads type of ads and you're not too sure where the results are, then we can do a review. But it all starts with that conversation, boys and girls. So if this is of interest for you, go ahead, book that conversation, and we'll see you very shortly. Take care. Hope you enjoyed it.
To be honest, I always thought the whole Google thing was a bit smoke and mirrors, to be perfectly honest with you. It was technology that I wasn't particularly knowledgeable in, and thought that people would just would know which estate agent they were going to use. I had no idea how to create more leads. And it was very simple. We spoke to a few people that had dealt with you and said, look, this is the Google guy and this is what he can do. And it was obvious what was happening in the market. The market was constricting, the number of valuations reducing. So what I was foreseeing for the future was we can't let that happen to us. We need to maintain our valuations or grow our valuations to keep the levels of business going that we're happy with.
I mean, we started working last last July, so
Yeah,
almost 7 or 8 months ago. What's been the transformation? What's been the results as of?
Yeah, I mean it's phenomenal, you know, in terms of. But now, if I watch my emails coming in, you know, we're getting one an hour, or occasionally get a couple in a row. So the numbers exponentially have grown dramatically.
Lessons? Have you got any lessons? Obviously, from Google Ads point of view, and also systems point of view, there are going to be agents out there. Most of them don't do anything. They sort of expect the person to come through the door, keys in the hand, and that sort of. Is there any lessons that you'd sort of mention to people?
Well, I wish I'd done it earlier. You know, this is something that if we'd have got on board with some time ago, we would be so much further ahead of the curve than we are now. So the lesson is you cannot really live without this technology and this lead generation to sustain the level of business or grow the business the way you want to. So that would be my advice: is get on and do it. Really.